Over the next couple of days, we're going to be using matrices to solve systems of equations. In order to solve a system of equations with matrices, you got to know these three things. There's three row operations that you're allowed to do. Let's look at the first one. The first one is pretty simple. It says two rows are interchanged, and it says row M, and then it has a double arrow with row N. Basically, what you can do is you can flip any two rows. So the row 1 here is just saying you can flip any two rows. Okay, row operation 2 says a row is multiplied by a non-zero constant number. So basically you can multiply any row by any number. So we got to flip, we can multiply. These are the three things that you're allowed to do. And then the third one, you can multiply a row by a number and then add it to another one. Or you can just add two rows together. So the three things that we can do are flip, multiply, and add. We're going to be practicing the notation in doing this. When you see this arrow that just points to the right, that means replace. Okay? All right, so let's do some examples here. It says perform the row operation indicated on the following matrix. So here's my original matrix right here. I want to do this first row operation. Here's what it says. It says take 1/5 times row 2 and then replace row 2. So what does that mean? That means we're going to rewrite our matrix up there, but row 2 is going to change. Row 1 stays the same. So what you want to do is you want to just write down row 1. It's not changing. Okay? It says take 1/5 times row 2, replace row 2. So I'm going to multiply this whole row here by 1/5. So 1/5 times 5 is 1, 1/5 times 10 is 2, and then 1/5 times 15 is 3. So this would be my answer, given this row operation. All right, so let's try it again. So let's look at B here. So on B, here's what I'm starting with. This is what I'm starting with, this matrix. What does it want me to do? Well, it says take -3 times row 1, and then add it to row 2, then replace row 2. So -3 times row 1, add it to row 2, replace row 2. That's what we want to do. So we're replacing row 2. So that means row 1 staying the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just write row 1 down here. It's not changing. Row 1 staying the same. Okay? So what am I going to do now? I'm going to take row 1 and multiply it by -3. So I'm just going to write that under this. So I'm going to take -3 times row 1. So that's going to give me -6. -3 times -3, +9. -3 times 5 is -15. So right here, what I have here, that's -3 times row 1. What do I want to do with that? I want to add it to row 2. And then what am I going to do with that? It's going to replace my row 2. So I'm going to add these together. So I'm just going to add these two rows together. So 5 plus -6 is -1. 10 plus 9, 19. 15 plus -15 is 0. So here is my answer. This is taking the original matrix, multiplying row 1 by -3, adding it to row 2, and then replacing row 2. All right, let's do one last example. So here is my augmented matrix. This one has a double arrow. Remember, the double arrow means flip. Okay? So let's bring down our matrix here. Let's figure out what am I changing. I'm flipping row 1. No, I'm flipping row 3 with row 2. But I'm going to take -2 times row 3 first, and then flip that with row 2. So row 1's staying the same. So row 1's not being changed. So let's just write down row number 1 here. Okay. So this row 2 here is going to replace row 3. So this is row 2. This is row 1. This is row 3. Row 2 is going to switch spots with row 3. I'm not changing row 2. I'm keeping it the same. I'm not multiplying by anything. So I'm just going to go ahead and write row 2 in row 3 spot now. And then row 3, I'm going to flip that with row 2. But before I flip it, I'm going to multiply row 3 by -2. So I'm taking -2 and row 3. That'll give me -2, -4, +2, -8. So here is my answer for this row operation that's given right here. Perform on this matrix above.